about QA automation and about trends in QA automation. And I'm really happy to see not empty auditorium, really, because weekend, early morning, this is really important that you are here. Thanks for this. And first of all, I want to say just several words about me, just to know borders of my understanding, knowledge, and so on. I used to work as an assembly developer during 4 years, as a C++ developer and lower during approximately 10 years. And only then I made a transition to QA automation. And later you understand why I selected this path. And now I'm working in company TMPA Solutions. I'm a co-founder and chief science officer, and also I'm one of our founders of QA automation community of Belarus. And this community popular not only in Belarus but in other countries, in Russia, in Ukraine. And also now we are working on in this region low-level community, Core Heart, and approximately in a week or in a two we will start this project too. I used to work as a C++ architect, as a department manager in a soft company. I used to work as a QA automation department manager from scratch and low-level development manager. That's why you know now borders of my knowledge and my understanding of this area. And from first sight, there is no presentation here because this is another topic why. I store all my data in a cloud, and cloud this morning is off. That's why this is another trend. Yeah, the general trend, move everything to the cloud, and opposite trend, no, save something here. Yeah, that's why. Sorry for this. This is our website, but I don't have a real presentation. Sorry for this. And why we are talking about QA automation and transition of QA automation? Firstly, I asked question, what is QA automation? Approximately 3 years ago, our customer asked, why we promote, for example, you need 2 manual QA and 3 QA automation engineers. And standard question, and what's the difference? No, I want to understand, yeah, what's the difference between QA and QA automation? And we decide, just find some definition, yeah, in some official document. There are a lot of certification, for example, ACTQB, and there is no term QA automation in even this huge certification. Every year, as this organization told that very soon we start another certification for QA automation engineers. And every year, move to another year, move to another year, move to another year. We should find the reason why. Possibly this area changes so fast that this organization can't formulate strict definition. Automation, this is, no, automation is changes. That's why I understand that not so easy. Something strange in this area. And then let's talk what automation yesterday, yeah, before talking what automation today. Yesterday, automation is a usage of really tricky, really huge and complicated tools, record place tools. You just configure this tool, you just use this tool, and then you click manually what you want to test via UI, and code generate code that then you could integrate into continuous integration or other stuff and run it again and again. But pluses and minuses, yeah, really huge plus, you don't be a real engineer because you should understand how to use these tools, but nothing else. You don't write code frequently, possibly sometimes fix a little bit this code-generated code. And you don't be a real engineer because architecture, no architecture, just fix something in this generated code. Code standards, this is a code generation, general purpose code generation, and I used to develop a lot of code generated tools. Code is always not ideal, at least, because if tool can generate it really good code, why we need and that's why there is no real engineering. And especially in US and in Europe too, they even don't have a strict distance between QA and QA automation. All our engineers are QA automation engineers. No, believe me, not all of your QA engineers can do automation. And especially for US, for example, community college focus on photography. And you're QA automation engineer? No. Engineer? No engineering, absolutely. But they really decide that and think that, yes, I'm QA automation engineer. And why we can't use this approach now? Yeah, no, not bad approach, and it worked during years and years. Now we have a really different user interface. 20 years ago, we have just several operation systems. We have only PC, and we have really not a huge set of graphic libraries. The most important, the most popular, just you can use just fingers. And now we have different operation systems even for mobile, yeah? Not only, we have 3 main operation systems and a lot of additional operation systems. We have a really different user experience, yeah? Even iOS and Android and different JS even to manipulate with this user interface. And we have a huge set of libraries, especially for web. A lot of libraries. And nowadays, some vendors of these libraries do all that they can do to not automate this. Yeah, we have our UI library, and we have our tool for automation, our UI library. For example, Telerik, really good web components, really good. But 99% of popular QA automation tools can't recognize it, can't locate it. Yes, but there is a really not bad tool from Telerik that you can buy it and do all this stuff. And that's why UI differences in UI increasing by exponent. And when we have a really huge monolithic tool, it's really complicated to add new features every day. New library, new jest, new operation system, and add, improve. That's why such popular tools from Hewlett-Packard or such a tool like Test Complete, yes, this is a monster. This is a really good tool. But due to inertia, this tool can be modified easily. That's why this tool really good for yesterday, but not even for today. And for tomorrow, it's nothing. And also, this tool is expensive. And but when we have a really tiny project, for example, any mobile application, this is not a huge project in most cases. And buy a tool just to automate testing of this project, this tool costs too much. This is too much cost for these tiny projects. That's why we should find another solution. And this is one point. And another point, what's the reason of automation yesterday? First of all, decrease costs. Manual testing costs too much. Frequent regression costs too much. That's why the most important, decrease amount of human errors, but the most important thing in automation yesterday, decrease costs. Nowadays, automation sometimes even can cost more than manual testing. But even in this case, this is profitable for company. For example, Facebook make 2 releases per day. every day 2 releases. We can't see this because this is behind the scene. This is a backend, this is some services, this is but twice a day. And before each release, you should test everything. You should make a full regression. If you have an infinite amount of money, you can't do this manually, absolutely. That's why sometimes, even if automation costs more than manual, this is a bare necessity. Or, for example, wargaming, yeah, World of Tanks. I think all of you guys at least hear this game. I'm not a game player, but even I know a lot about this stuff. And they worked using Kanban because this is very important to release feature as soon as it's ready for release. Because a lot of users pay for this feature, and every day when this feature isn't in usage, this is a minus a lot of money. That's why this is really important to develop this feature, not a week, for example, but 5 days. Even if automation costs more than manual QA, but you save a lot of money when you release it earlier. That's why we have 2 reasons why yesterday approach doesn't work sometimes. Because, you record play. In a month, you should re-record play, for example, because something changed. In a month, re-record play. And yesterday, possibly this is okay. Yeah? In some cases, this is not so expensive, even re-record every script. But when you should release twice a day, and something change, and you should re-record or fix it when tests are not really stable. Yeah, try. You have 1 hour. Try to fix this, I don't know, thousands and thousands and thousands of tests. That's why yesterday approach doesn't work at all. And we have a huge set of really cool specialists that know what to do yesterday. Because this is not so easy to configure all these tools, to use all these tools. This is, I don't want to say that we are new era and we are good, and this is, no, this is a really complicated work. But this work and this experience can be applied for our, for nowadays, absolutely. And what is automation today? Today, this is an engineering. Yeah, this is not a general purpose engineering. We have one area. Yeah, that's why this is a simpler to understand engineering. We have almost all tasks are standard, but this is a still engineering tasks. We have architecture, we have design, we have some infrastructure, we have even patterns that focus only on QA automation. There are even books. They are not so popular as a band of four, yeah, but they still exist. Even special patterns, design patterns for QA automation. That's why now we need engineers and professional engineers to automate. And this automation almost always cost much cheaper than yesterday approach. And works much more stable because this is a real code, and you could stabilize locators, yeah, to identify elements, and even move these locators to some files. And you have a specialist in locators, yeah, I don't know, XPath guru. And when something breaks, you need just update several records in one file. This is much easier than generated script, and where is the error, where is the issue, what to fix, what to update, how to do this, or a record, all this stuff. This is really this is not so easy as fix just 1 or 2 files. That's why I, as really hardcore engineers, decide to look at this area. I find several guys that can help me, and we organize from the scratch department. And now in this department, close to 100 guys. And this is, all of these guys are engineers. Why community is important, because especially young specialists don't understand, yeah, even if certification community, yeah, don't understand the difference between manual QA and automation and what automation is. Students don't understand what is this. They know QA, development, management. I'm not a manager because I'm a technical guy and I'm a young guy. I don't want to be QA because this is a less engineering stuff. Yeah, that's why I'm engineer, I'm developer. But there are so many different roles. That's why we try to work with all main universities in Belarus. And that's why I'm here to show students what is automation today. This is engineering. And engineering interesting because there are two reasons. Yeah, possibly engineering in one tube. This is not so interesting, but tubes a lot of. Yeah, a lot of different languages, a lot of different approaches, a lot of different libraries for each language. There are a lot of wrappers around existed libraries. For example, the cell-based approach is really popular when for this area, for this domain, QA automation engineers develop their own domain-specific language based on existing infrastructure, and then it's really easy to develop, maintain, and improve such automation scripts. And this is really interesting engineering task. Yeah, develop your own language, possibly tiny language, yeah, extremely simple language. SQL also was such a language, yeah, 40 years ago. Just the simplest tiny DSL language. And now SQL is a monster, and we have even separate area of SQL specialists. And this is today automation. And also today automation trends is not only wrappers around, yeah, a lot of engineering stuff. This is also developing your own tools. Because I don't know exactly how situation in Russia. As far as I know, in not main cities, not so many interesting IT projects. But in Belarus, for each student, for example, I'm a 5 years, I'm a final year student, and 20 companies run, and please join me, I have I don't know, a cool chair. Please join this company, I have a swimming pool. Please join, we go to play strike ball every week, and so on and so on and so on. And this is a secret. Each company even should pay university for each student. And in Belarus, this is $2,000 for each student to university. Yeah, really good. Yeah. Guys who work in this university possibly, yeah, decide to move to Belarus. Yeah. Yeah, this is a really good way of making money. That's why we should save all our workers. We can't say just, oh, you are a specialist of yesterday automation. Go back. We find a new guys and everything will fine. No, this is absolutely impossible, even based on market, not only morale or some other questions. But this is a business fact. That's why sometimes we develop a really simple tool like Test Complete, but only for this project, only for this area, only for these libraries. Yeah, simply task, but really close to by user experience to Test Complete. And QA automation engineers developing such tools and developing such tools frequently. This is a trend now. And then specialists in yesterday automation can use this tool, and this tool will be much more efficient than yesterday tools, monsters like Test Complete, and sometimes even cost less, because develop these tools from human months to human year, sometimes several human years. But each license costs really a lot. That's why sometimes you even save money developing your own tool, not buying ready-to-use tool. And this is another trend. That's why QA automation engineers could either use a lot of languages, tools. And this is also interesting, especially for young specialists who can say, I have 2 years of experience and I know 5 languages. Yeah, possibly not so deep, but know and use. And this is interesting for students. And when you develop your own tool, and this is not a huge project, yeah, my first project was a lab query section for Oracle, new. Thousands of engineers, and yes, this is my part. No, some subset of this tiny library, one of hundreds for this tool, yes, this is mine. You not associate yourself, your efforts with this tool. I can't associate myself with Oracle. This is too huge company, too abstract. And when you develop your own tiny tool, you can associate it. This is my tool. I developed it. This is really motivate guys, and this is really important, especially for young specialists, to motivate, to understand IT area, to love IT area. And what will be tomorrow, yeah? What is it tomorrow automation? Based on law of Sedov's law of hierarchical compensation, to have veracity on highest level, we should standardize all previous levels. And this law applies to everything, not only for computer science, even for society, even for planets, for everything, for universe. This is a general purpose law. That's why, I don't know, in a year, in 10 years, but we will have less amount of operation systems. We will have only main operation systems, possibly 10 or 20, but we fix this amount, yeah? We will fix amount of UI libraries, and that's why we will need more complicated approach, yeah? Some combination, not yesterday and not today, but combination of today and yesterday for tomorrow. Because engineering will be much more complicated, and self-development tools also will be much more complicated. And when another interesting thing for any students and any newcomers for this area. I'm also a newcomer. I'm in QA engineering less than 3 years. I'm also a junior QA engineer, yeah, QA automation engineer. This is a pyramid, yeah, like MMM, Hyperinvest, and other really important, yeah, and very well-known areas. Yeah, I don't want to tell something bad, yeah, in a good way, yeah, in a good understanding. When we have a pyramid, and as soon as you join this pyramid, yeah, as early as you join this pyramid, you will be on the top. Nowadays, you can develop your career in QA automation much easier, much faster than in all other areas. If you select a right company that help you develop your own career, if you join communities, this one and another one, I think that communities will be more and more. Now there is almost no communities that focus on automation, only general purpose QA communities. You can make your career in a really fast way. Just several examples. We have a lot of students, for example, that start work at university, and when they finish university and then work, for example, just 1 year, yes, this is a young guys. They become in different companies. For example, in EPAM company, in Luxoft company, yeah? In a huge companies, not some tiny company, yeah, not some special case. No, in a really huge companies, they become senior engineers because we have information vacuum and we have a resource vacuum here. And they have interesting work and they have really good salaries. And this is also important, yeah? First, the most important things for me, and I think for anybody who want to make a success in any area, this is a interest and love to this area. This is a 99% of success. But money is very important too, because I have 2 kids, and first kid, I make it in university. That's why I know when you don't have money, and this is really important. That's why this is a new area and really important area. Please join this area in your own way, and you will find a good career path in IT. I think so. Thanks for listening, and you are always welcome to ask any questions in any understandable way, language. Later, yeah. Thanks you, guys.
Any question или какие-нибудь вопросы?
Don't be so shy. Не стесняйтесь, задавайте вопросы. Тем более я вижу студентов. Может быть, вы хотите задать вопрос, как сделать первый шаг, где научиться, там, какая есть литература, ну, я не знаю.
Вопрос. Thanks a lot for your presentation. Okay, a question will be in Russian. Вы говорите, что имеет смысл каждому человеку садиться и заниматься своим tiny tool, и что это способствует в большей степени развитию. И это, ну, по крайней мере, меня смущает. Нам задают вопросы, почему вы изобретаете свои велосипеды, а у нас над изобретением велосипедов работает условно 50 человек только в команде инструментов. То есть, и все равно критика достаточно обоснованная, почему в той или иной степени мы садимся и изобретаем что-то свое, вместо того, чтобы смотреть и использовать то, что существует. А совсем другое дело, когда вы говорите о каждом отдельном QA-специалисте, который вместо того, чтобы попытаться понять, что есть, будет создавать свой маленький велосипедик.
Очень хороший вопрос. На самом деле часто его задают. Попробую на него ответить. То есть, во-первых, ну скажем, я хотел сказать, что каждый QA-специалист растет или может дорасти до того момента, когда он может сфокусироваться не просто на создании скриптов, а уже работе над собственными инструментами. То есть это действительно интересная творческая работа, не стоит бояться рутинной работы. А как разговаривать с заказчиком, скажем, грубо говоря? По-моему, единственный разговор в таком случае – это ROI. То есть надо показать, что это ему выгодней. Если не в деньгах, то, по крайней мере, показать, что вот в деньгах вы, например, теряете совсем немного, но получаете целый ряд дополнительных плюсов. Для этого надо выработать небольшую инфраструктуру. Причем я считаю, что для каждой компании она должна быть немножечко своя. То есть вообще в интернете можно скачать готовые экселевские шаблоны ROI-калькуляторов. Ты его скачиваешь, и там смотришь, и там 10 вкладок, и на первой же тебе надо ввести 50 параметров, названия которых ты не понимаешь, не говоря уж о том, где взять эти значения. И даже если вы каким-то образом такой калькулятор заполните, принесете заказчику и скажете, так будет дешевле, вот я не готов платить за то, чего вообще не понимаю. Да? То есть вот мне сказали, что так будет дешевле. Ну, объясните мне, почему. Человек говорит, ну, честно говоря, я сам не понимаю. Вот я шаблон скачал, его заполнил, он сказал, что дешевле. Поэтому, например, вот в компании DPI Solutions мы разработали несколько опросников, там, готовность проекта к автоматизации, простых опросников, простых анкет. И простой ROI-калькулятор такой, чтобы, с одной стороны, он считал без серьезной погрешности, там, в 10%, потому что если погрешность пару процентов, из-за пары процентов игра не стоит свеч автоматизации. Да? Если вы хотите сэкономить 2% только вот на этой маленькой части проекта, скорее всего, ну, нет смысла. Да? Вы добавляете новые риски, да? К ручным тестировщикам добавляете еще что-то, а экономите считанные там, проценты или доли процента. С одной стороны, надо его создать достаточно точным, с другой, не стоит этим увлекаться, он должен быть простой, как грабли. И вот на любой вопрос заказчика, да, а почему вы предложили мне создать собственный инструмент? Посмотрите, вот прямо графа, разработка собственного инструмента, столько-то. Зато потом написание одного, например, сценария с использованием собственного инструмента, столько-то. Теперь смотрите то же самое без своего инструмента и то же самое на тест комплит. А теперь смотрите на поддержку, да, с нашим инструментом DSL-based какой-нибудь на поддержку одного теста в среднем уходит, не знаю, 5 минут там в месяц. При обычном подходе уходит, например, час, с тест-комплитом уходит 3. Посчитали, вот смотрите. И прямо можно привести несколько разных вот заполненных табличек. Да? В первом случае, давайте мы сразу много инвестируем, подключили 10 человек. Да? В другой, давайте мы начнем плавно, вы посмотрите, вот одного человека подключим. И вот вы задали простые вопросы. Совсем, то есть там в течение получаса пообщались с заказчиком. Потом все это заполнили, прислали ему документы, которые ему понятны. Это не какие-то космические цифры, да, или там магические расчеты. Возможно, вы прямо с заказчиком обсудили, какие-то графы убрали. Он говорит, а вот это для меня не важно. И это, хорошо, мы чуть переделаем ROI калькулятор. И тогда у вас есть железная аргументация. Тогда заказчик может принимать осмысленное решение. Пока подобной инфраструктуры нет, любое решение голословно. Как вообще любое решение об автоматизации. Да, если вы не знаете, сколько она стоит и сколько экономит, и когда начнет давать там экономию, то есть прибыль, а как можно говорить? Так и происходит во многих компаниях. Да? То есть автоматизация — это хорошо, давайте ей заниматься. Ну, по-моему, бизнес не должен так принимать решения. У нас время истекает, поэтому, к сожалению, все. Но вы можете смело задавать вопросы позже.
Sure.
Да. Всем большое спасибо за то, что пришли так рано. Благодарю.